In the previous chapters, Arjuna had surrendered to Krishna. He was thoroughly confused about what to do and what not to do. Arjuna, he surrendered to Krishna as his disciple. And Krishna, he thought the difference between body and soul. Then he thought about the importance of working as a Kshatriya. His duty was to fight without considering the family relationship. And then Krishna also instructed about Buddhi Yoga, working in devotion for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Then in chapter 3, Krishna explained about Karma Yoga and how a person who is fully in divine consciousness, he has no works to perform because he has connected himself with the Supreme Lord and is eternally busy in serving the Lord only. And in chapter 4, Krishna explained how all sacrifices culminate in transcendental knowledge. And at the end of the 4th chapter, Lord Krishna told Arjuna to get up and fight. So Arjuna was a little perplexed because he thought that renunciation means stopping all works. So Arjuna, he inquires from Lord Krishna. Arjuna says, Arjuna vacha sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shamsasi yashveyayeta yorekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work in devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?" So Arjuna asked Krishna that among the two, working devotion and renunciation of work, which is beneficial? So let us see what Krishna replies. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Sannyasa Karma Yogascha Nishveyasa Karavu Bhavu Tayosu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. The Blessed Lord said, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of works. So here Krishna, he has given his reply to Arjuna that between renunciation of work and work in devotion, Krishna said actually both are good for liberation, but among the two, working in devotion is better than renunciation of work. So why that is so? That is because when we work in devotion, we get connected with the Supreme Lord. We are all parts of Krishna. We have a loving relationship with Krishna, and we will develop our eternal relationship by working in devotion for Krishna. And all the attachments we have towards this material world, material body, bodily relationships, all that will get cleansed away. And we will start experiencing divine pleasure, transcendental pleasure right from the beginning. And once we are fully cleansed of all material dirt, we will situate ourselves in our original constitutional position as an eternal servant of Krishna, and we will eternally engage in devotional activities in the spiritual world. So therefore, working in devotion is better than renunciation of works. On the other hand, there are people who don't know that the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person and we are His servants. They think that God is some impersonal energy, and because of this material body and individuality, they think that we are suffering. So they want to stop all works because they think that by working there are reactions, and to stop all reactions we have to stop all works. So in that way they don't involve in any activities. They sit quietly in some place and do some sort of meditation. Actually, by stopping all works and just sitting in some place, one will not get liberated, because unless we establish our relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna, we cannot go back to the spiritual world. At the most, one can elevate oneself to Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence of the Supreme Lord, but there also the soul cannot live forever happily, because soul is a person and soul wants relationship with the Supreme Lord. Unless we develop our relationship with the Supreme Lord, we will never be happy. Well, even if one elevates and gets liberated and enters into the spiritual effulgence of the Lord, one will again fall back to this material world to perform activities. So therefore, Krishna said that of the two, among working in devotion and renunciation of work, Krishna said working in devotion is better, because it will elevate the soul and awaken its relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna.